Ooh, what's going on here? Let's see if I've got this all sorted. Good morning. Now, get my cameras sorted. How are you? Today we are going to welcome. So this session is, I'm Caroline from Bubbly Maths. And in this session, sorry, I'm just aligning cameras and whatnot. So in this session, we're going to be doing 3D shapes. We're going to be drawing and visualizing 3D shapes. And it's aimed at 7 to 18-year-olds. So there's going to be activities for all of you to do. We're going to give you some, we're going to make some cubes and whatnot first. So you'll see how to do that. And then there's a really nice activity for 16 to 18-year-olds. If you want to come back in a little while, you're welcome, back 15 maybe a bit later. Actually, I don't know, I'm 58 and I enjoy doing all the activities that we're doing. So please do stay if you want to. And especially if you have younger people with you, do the activity with them. Make it a home learning activity for everyone. And if you're back in school, then you can do it as a class activity. Right, so I don't seem to be able to speak. And oh, I forgot I was going to do a little bubbly maths at the beginning. So bubbly maths moment. I am learning, this is just to share, which might help some of you. I am learning my times tables. Yes, I'm 58 and I'm learning my times tables. Okay, that's life. But it's never too late. I'm always learning something. And I decided it's jolly well time I learned my times tables. And I'm working with a friend called Grace, and we're working on a program together on how to help young people learn their times tables using fun ideas. Well, here's one of them. This is a bubbly maths activity. So there's lots of maths in here. We've got the cube, we've got lots of triangles, we've got lots of squares, and then we can count up as we inflate it. If you've got early years learners, count up as you inflate it. So you're counting the puffs, you're doing careful counting. You only count the actual puffs. You don't count puffs that aren't. You can use any type of balloon to do this. It doesn't have to be a long one. Ready? Now I'm going to do my times table of 6 times table backwards. And I'm doing the extension. I'm going back from 15 times 6 because I like to stretch my mind. It's not enough just to learn them. I want to go to 15. And I tell you what, I've learned lots of things by going above 6 times 10. I've learned lots of things about the 6 times table by going beyond it. Okay, you ready? So 6 times 15, 90, 84, 78, 72, 66, 60, 54, 48, 42, 36, 30, 24, 18, 12, 6, 0, blast off. Woo! Good God. Go towards the computer. So that's a bit of bubbly maths. We do a lot more than that. We do the stuff that we're doing here as well, but we also have those magical moments where we do crazy things with balloons. And that's one of the ways I'm learning my 6 times table. I will know it. My challenge is to know it just by instant recall by 1 o'clock on Saturday. So there you go. That's sharing a little bit there. Now let's get on with, that's to get your attention. The idea there is to get your attention. And although not your attention because you're already watching, to get the attention of those that aren't already watching. I've been advised to do that by people's share on a page you manage, share it on Bubbly Maths. So there's 2 pages that I recommend. One is the AIMSEC page, and there's all the little resources you see. They're all shared on the little memes. They're all shared on the AIMSEC page. So please do go on those. I'm just going to put the link on there. I can't think and do at the same time. It doesn't work. Or talk and do at the same time, I should say. And now I'm going to start the watch party. I didn't start the watch party. That was sharing on a page. Now I'm starting a watch party. And we will be starting. So we're visualizing. So we want some paper or some cards, some toilet rolls, some sticky tape, some scissors. That's a balloon pump. That's not scissors. That's definitely not scissors. My scissors, I buried them under here. bury them under here. There we go. Scissors, not balloon pump. You don't need a balloon pump to inflate balloons. If you have the right balloons, you just blow them up as well. Okay, and if you're doing balloons in this day and age right now, make sure that only you inflate your own balloon. That's it. That's the rule. And right. And I don't use my mouth at all. I just hand pump. I never use my mouth with balloons. Right. Okie dokie. So we're good to go. I still don't know where I am. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I can do this. Screen share. That's what I'm doing. Screen share. And now I've got to find the right screen. Ah, here it is. Hopefully, fingers crossed. No, I've got to click share. Yes. Okay. So in theory, you can now see both me and this little screen here, which I'm going to bring closer to you for this bit because so that it's in focus, so you can read it. Otherwise, what's the point? Viewing cubes. So what we're going to be doing is looking at viewing cubes from different angles, and then we're going to be making some cubes. We're not going to do a lot of that. You'll just watch and then make them afterwards would be the ideal. I sat up and made a bunch of cubes last night and put them together in these shapes to help you with the live. So that's, and I must remember to put that to one side and then remember where it is. Now, this kind of grid paper is what you're going to need to do the drawings. You see these drawings here? That's how we're going to represent these 3D shapes using isometric grid paper, it's called. So you can either download it from the internet, download the resource, it's in the description, it's in the comments, in the description, and that's, you're going to draw these shapes on the isometric grid and represent them in 3D from different angles. You'll see that in a minute. If you've got early years learners, by all means get them to join in with this activity and just allow them to engage at whatever level they're engaging at. Obviously, don't take, ideally, it's always a balance, isn't it? You're always playing a bit of a balance. Give them an activity to do where they're making cubes, and there's no wrong when you've got a very young learner involved. If they make something that to them is a cube and to you looks nothing like a cube, that's okay, because as they keep going, they'll get better. As they keep going, their dexterity will improve, their connections, their sense of accuracy will improve. So just allow them to engage. The main thing is that they're enthusiastic and they remain enthusiastic. Okay, and so we're going to just jump straight in and start with the first activity. So here we go, here it is. Now, as I say, we're going to do a session for young learners for early years at 10 o'clock. So in about 40 minutes, 50 minutes, we're going to start an activity for early years, 10 o'clock. And right now what we're going to do is, so what I've done is, because what we're going to now do is make pictures of these shapes. So because I'm doing this live with you, let me see, which camera am I looking at now? I think I'm going to disappear that because now that's distraction for me, that's it. So here we are, you're up here. So I've made these blocks, these shapes, which are also on this sheet. So the idea is you're going to make the blocks and then draw them. And you can really, there's best distance, make the blocks and draw them on the isometric grid. Now, if you don't have isometric grid, if you can't print out, you can very carefully make dots. Now, these are not squares. Notice if you join those together, they make a rhombus. If you notice, the lines are parallel, going diagonally both ways, and they're also equidistant. So they're not those. So they're the distance between all of those and the angles. Well, there's two different angles, as it were. If you drew I'm just going to draw, if I just draw a triangle, I'm going to draw one up here so I'm not wasting the paper. Those are equilateral triangles. Over there, they're equilateral triangles, and that's vertical. So, hey, the way they join together in the center. I can't. There is vertical. So you've got the vertical lines, you've got the diagonal lines, and then of course you've got they also make horizontal lines going with the longer distance. So the distance between that vertex and that vertex is the horizontal, and it's longer. But what's common is that they are drawing three of them together, they make equilateral triangles. So if you can manage to replicate that, great. That's a really good way. If you can print it, somehow replicate it, do a little bit of design technology, a bit of design, a bit of drawing craft, then that will be a useful thing for you to have to do this activity. But if you can only do it just by drawing on a piece of paper, then you just use the image by looking at it on your phone or your computer. Use these images and do your best to make it a flat representation of these 3D shapes, and we want to see them from. We're going to now do it. So just do your best to do it any way you can. Now I'm going to just demonstrate making some cubes. I had to make these ahead last night, so I made them. Now for this one, so on the sheet you have a net for a cube, so you can print that out and then cut it out, or simply draw them out and draw them, like score them through paper, that sort of thing, or make a template, make one template out of cardboard and then draw the others all around. You do want it to be, well, if you see the size that I've made it, if you want to make them bigger, but bear in mind that then will be a bigger shape. Just make it the size you want to make it. And so we can do it like that. I'm not going to demonstrate that. You can do that for yourself. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make one out of the toilet roll. So we had a toilet roll. I'm going to, wait a minute, there's no one. So we start with the toilet roll. First thing you want to do is squish it down so that it is just flat. We know that distance across here is the same as that distance across here because we've squished it flat. Now the next thing you're going to do is you measure the width and then carefully, on the right side of the ruler, and then carefully mark out the same width, the same length to the top, mark it out and then cut it off so you've got a square. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to get a square. Boom! How quick is that? You've got a square, and now 1/4 of the length, 1/4 of the width, 1/4 of the height, whatever, just we're going to cut down into, I've marked down here. And the other thing is then open it out and flatten it so that the two initial first edges then match together, and then make sure they stay together, and then squish down your two other edges. So now you have a cuboid that you can look through. Right, so then you will have marked already the vertices so that you can cut in, and I should just do that now. Cut in into 1/4 of the length of each of those edges. So the idea is that we'll be left with a cube when we've done all the folding. We're left with a shape where all the faces are squares, and obviously if all the faces are squares, then all the edges will be 90 degrees, or the angles will be 90 degrees, the right angles, and let's see what happens. We can fold it in, fingers crossed, make nice sharp edges, it does help. I'm going to actually fold each one in first and take it out, fold it in, take it out, make the edges first. Make nice sharp edges. And then down here, fold it in, and open it out fold it in and open it out, fold it in and open it out. And now I'm just going to fold the opposite ends in just like you do a box. And then you get your tape. You get your tape, and you get your tape, and you find the end of your tape. And you have it ready, prepared before you start your live. And got a couple of bits there, and I'm going to leave that now attached to the table. Right, so you get your tape and tape it over. Nice, and make all those edges nice. Now, if you were making this cube so that it was a strong cube, oh dear, that's a bit squish, a bit skew-ish. For shipping, those two flaps would have to actually touch and join in the middle. So that is a whole other activity. What we've done, what we're doing here is just to make cubes for building blocks, so that they're not going to be under much pressure. But that's a whole other activity, is to actually work out the length of these flaps so that they fold exactly, that they meet exactly in the middle, with no overlap and with no gap. So now we stick together. Dexterity is not my forte. You might have noticed that. I'm not well coordinated, and that's okay. It hasn't ever stopped me from achieving everything I've ever wanted to achieve, which is part of my message in what I do with Bubbly Maths. So we now have one cube. So you need to make about, well, actually, I think you need 19 of those. Well, you can work out for yourself how many you need. You've got the pictures in the resource. You can work out for yourself how many you need. I've made mine a slightly different method because I keep, whenever I find a little bit of card now that's white, I keep it. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go in the recycle. I keep it. And this one I've cut into strips, and I've been using it for number sticks and that sort of thing. And then I thought, oh, I could use these. You fold them over to make your squares. And I just cut them into strips. It's very strong, but also very thin cardboard. And so I've cut them into squares. Got 4 squares there. I could overlap the last one, actually. I didn't do that, but I could do. And then just get a bit of tape, which I've now, oh yes, it's attached to the table. Attached to the table so that I get it when I need it. Hello, I knew that. Whoopsie. And then fold it round. And this doesn't have a gap there. So what I did is I used some solid tape like this. Just use something that or paper, wrap it in paper, do something so that you are covering the edges there, the faces there. But first thing you need to do is make sure you've got a cube and it stays in shape. So take that down and hold on to that so that doesn't move. I'm going to align this now so that it does end up cube shape. And that's my first. I'm sure you do a much better job than that. It would actually be better with tape, but I'm using thick tape. It would actually be better with thinner tape so you don't have little bits. Or you could trim that off as well. That's the other option, which didn't occur to me last night. You just trim off the excess, and then you've got a much tidier cube. And then cover it. You can either cover it or just wrap it in tape the other way. Now, if you're making these shapes, you probably may not have to cover all of the faces, but it actually sits in a better shape if you're controlling the fact that, because this can squish down, so you do actually want something that holds it in that shape. So, and yeah, that, for example, that just squished in there, and that wasn't good. So I wrapped it both way round with this tape, but I'm not expecting you to use the same as me. Just find something to hold it in place. Okay, you could also make smaller nets with these, with the white cards and and then have the two flats coming down on the other two faces. I just liked doing it this way, and the result, I was happy with the result. I've got my 1, 2, 3, and 4 blocks. Right, now that we've got our 4 blocks, let's get on with the activity. So this you can ad-lib. You don't have to have the isometric paper. I'd like you to do it again. If you do have the isometric paper, then use it. If you don't, simply draw what you see. Now, one of the challenges is, for this one, for example, let's see if I've got it work, see if I've got it, wait a minute, get the right view. Let me give you the same view as I've got here. Let's see if I've got it there. There it is, there, that view, there. Can you draw that shape from the top, bird's eye view, from above, from this end, from the opposite end, from the back, and from below? You want to draw, and I'm not showing you the full shape, I'm just giving you a hint. I'm just going to hold that there for you for a moment. Okay, so we've got, did I say from the front as well? From the front, from the back, from both sides. So I have said this before, and I'll say it again. When I'm talking about shapes, I will always use the expression, the words edges for the straight lines, vertices, a vertex or vertices for the pointy bits, and for 3D shapes, face is, in this case, the squares. They're the faces. Now, the time where you use the word side is now we're looking from the, what's that to you? That's your left-hand side, and that's your right-hand side, top, bottom, back, front. We want to see what this shape looks like from all of those perspectives. So that's the task, and do that for that one. For this one, this is a nice one. Do it like that. I print it straight on. But anyway, I'd like you to imagine it, and you can also take pictures. You don't have to only draw. You can take pictures, make them, and then take pictures of them. You can do this activity though without making them, just by using the pictures here and then visualizing them and drawing them on 2D by visualizing what each one of those aspects looks like from above, from below, from the left, the right-hand side, from the left-hand side, from the front, and from the back. Oh, you can't see my hand. From the back. Hello, from here, from back. Okay, right. So that's that activity. And then the next thing to do is take it to real life. Take your phone, your camera, and find things. So what did I find yesterday? I found quite interesting. So we have the ruler. Then we looked at it from, in this particular case, it's got a handle, so it's different, and also you could do it actually from a different angle as well, looking for 3D, but from above, from the side, from beneath, and from the end. So drawing all the different aspects of lots of different things. I've got my balloon pump. From the side, from below, from the top. Working on getting the, there we go, from the top. And the scissors. Scissors were really cool. From the side. From above, from above, from the side, whoops, from one end, and from the other end. You're doing pictures from all the, and just look at things. And what it's helping you do is it's opening up your mind to visualizing the actual 3D shapes of everything you see. It's making the world around you. It's not just making it more 3D. It's also making you more aware. And if you do it as a common thing, it makes life more interesting. And it gives you powers of visualization. It trains your powers of visualization, which means that when it comes time to, just in general, having the power to visualize, whether it's shapes, whether it's a project that you want to do, whether it's playing your favorite game, it opens up your mind to being more creative and coming up with more options. And it actually helps you be more systematic because it opens up the options. So if you, it doesn't help you be more systematic, but it helps you, if you're looking for solutions or options, helps you visualize more options. Because have you ever found that if you're doing a puzzle or something, or looking for solutions, you hadn't thought of, let me see, I'll just keep it super, super simple. Let's say you decide to paint your house, paint your room, paint something, paint a table, and you're looking at a color chart of paint box, paint things that, and you only have yellow and red and orange and white and black as options. And you're looking at all the different shades of all of those and how to combine them together. And you're like, I really don't like any one of these. And then someone says, well, have you looked at green? And you're like, what? Of course, there are more colors. And then that opens up a whole new area of colors that you can choose from. That's a very simple example, but it's a very real example. If you've ever been stuck on a problem and then somebody, you can talk to somebody, or you have your own insight and you think, oh, wait, I found a whole new area I can explore. And that opens up a whole bunch of new possibilities and might even end up to the final solution. If it doesn't lead to the final solution, it'll lead to another door opening, reveal other possibilities. So that is the power of visualization. That is the power of looking at things from all different angles. It's a great metaphor for looking at problems and solving problems, and all different kinds of problems. It could be the problem of how to get to school. It could be the problem of, oops, I missed the bus. How am I going to get home? That's a problem. That's a very real problem. That the more experience you have of looking at things from different angles and visualizing it, the more solutions you have open to you. So that's up to year. That exercise is suitable for everybody up to age 14, and it's suitable for everybody up to age 18. I enjoy it, that's for sure. Then we have something specific if you are between 16 and 18, and that is, and it's on the worksheet, so just download it. So the first thing we have is an example of just using the blocks, so, or just visualizing a 2D version, and then you've got to draw just what we did, but it's a slightly different question. So we're drawing a 3D version of, so one of the activities is to draw a 3D version of some very simple blocks. So do this, and then that, and then the last activity is you need to draw this house here, this garage. A very big garage. It fits 2 cars, and it's got a little workroom at the back. So you've got the 2-car garage. It calls it a shop, but it's basically a little workroom. It's whatever you want. It's a room at the back of the garage. So here's the bird's eye view from the top. Here is the side view from this side. No, the front here. And it's your job to draw the view from the side here. That one, that view there. With there's a little door there, there's a window, and there's the roof and whatever else you think might be there. And that's your job, is to draw that, and that's for the letters, and just go ahead and do that. Now, I've already spoken about some of the things that we're doing here. That's if you've got adults with you, there's some great questions on how to help you do it if you have any hesitations. Don't be doofers. If you're working with somebody that's younger than you, don't do it for them. Help them do it. If they can't make a cube, make the cubes. If they can't put the cubes together, help them put the cubes together. But then when it comes to, say, drawing the cubes, don't do it for them. Let them draw whatever they're ready to draw at their own age. You can provide them with the asymmetric paper. You can make a larger version of it so they can make it nice and big, but don't do it for them. So why are we doing this? Giving the 3D, it can be very difficult to visualize a 3D object from a 2D representation. The more we practice, if you take the 3D and draw it down in 2D, that helps you do the opposite, be able to visualize, if you see a 2D, to be able to visualize a 3D. And that is a super important activity, because in our world, you've seen things on the computer, on the phone, where they're actually creating a 3D version of something. They're doing that to help you see it, because that is a skill all on its own. And so you get becoming better at drawing, you're becoming better at visualizing activities, and it helps you with spatial awareness. Now, spatial awareness is going to help you with sports. It's going to help you with driving. It's going to help you with just knowing where you are. And it's also, some of you might end up wanting to be an architect or an engineer, and having, even if you just want to build a little shed, if you make drawings of it first, you will know how much material to buy, you'll be able to cost it out, you'll know how much to, or even if you're using scrap materials, you'll soon know what you need. You'll have an inventory of what you need. You do that as all part of planning. And yeah, these are all great skills, and I hope you enjoyed it. Now, if you have a YouTube channel, please do subscribe to our YouTube. We've got Bubbly Maths, where all these lives are being uploaded, and Maths Toys. Now, Maths Toys, what we have on Maths Toys is all these resources. We are slowly but surely making videos where everyone will be, it's a nice short one, not like this one where I'm kind of wittering on a bit. It's nice, short, sharp, quick, good for teachers, good for home learning, good for you if you just want to go and review it. You don't have to look past all the stuff for all the different ages. It will be quick to do it, and it'll be clear where to find it. And then if you subscribe to those, and if you are finding these lives useful, please do share them, and please do tell other people about the group Making Maths Fun for Kids of All Ages, where we are doing our best. We've got 3 lives every day, one for 7 to 18-year-olds, one for early years, young learners, and then the preparation one the night before, and where we also have the occasional guest speaker, which we enjoy hosting as well. And so please do share that, tell people about it, post on your Facebook about it, or other social media. And then there's the AIMSEC page. There's a lot of little memes on here which have come from the AIMSEC page. The links to all these things are in the announcements above or the description below. And depending where you are, what platform you're on. And then all of this is thanks to Aiming High, the Aiming High website, which has been created by the AIMSEC team. And this is to provide a resource for teachers in Africa. Initially, that's what it was for. And it remains that, but we're also now expanding it for learners all around the world. And especially, we've got the home learning resources that are being written daily. Each one of these activities is being converted into a home learning resource, so that you can provide high quality. These are low threshold, high ceiling activities, which means that the activity, the worksheet, let's say, the worksheet, it's not worksheet, is that the activity is can be engaged in by all ages. So everyone can be doing something at their own level. It's the same basic activity. So, and everyone can be helping everyone else whilst working on their own projects, and it can be done as a round table activity, or it can be done in the classroom, it can be done by a whole school, all at different levels. And we started this specifically for the because so many people are having to home educate without with guidance, but we're providing an additional resource for you. These are really rich mathematical activities. This isn't practicing your times table. I am learning my times table, which is at the beginning, but it's not practicing multiplication or division, or it's actually developing the understanding behind and getting a feel for all the activities. So we've done activities on numbers, gives you a feel for numbers, giving activity on 3D. It's not, oh, well, this shapes are this and this shapes are that, giving you a feel for the shapes and the ability to visualize them. But it's like the world around the activity rather than just the activity itself. So thank you for joining. I'm going to now turn off this camera and hopefully see what's happening on Facebook. So Pindi, hello Pindi. Right, Judith, right? Judith's here. Salome, hi Salome. We're planning a tour in 2022. We're looking forward to it in South Africa. Going to visit all the NSEC alumni teachers. Brian, hello. Salvo, hello. Pindi, Andy, Salvo again. Aneta from Denmark. And Eddie, hello Eddie. From up north, he is up north at the moment. And Phil, hello Phil, welcome. Nice to see you. And so thank you for joining. We'll see you. If you want your kids to enjoy these activities, Phil, replay, I'm just finishing, but they are some great activities. And I do highly recommend, they're not my activities, I'm just facilitating them. So I do highly recommend these lives if you can. Join the group, Phil. I'm going to add you to the group actually. It'll be good for your kids. Okay, I'm off now. If I can find the way out. It's like an escape room. That's it. It's an escape room. That's what it is. Find the way out of the Facebook Live. I found it. Thank you. See you at 10 o'clock for the early years. Thank you.